So I'm a 20-year-old female here at the University of Virginia, and I identify myself as bisexual. So I'm out, right? Well, of course I'm out, because some people know that I'm bisexual. And that's the point, some people know. My family still doesn't know, my friends from home still don't know. So with one foot still in the closet, I guess I'm kind of out, but can you be kind of out? So maybe I'm not out. True story. I was at a QSU meeting last year about bisexuality, and someone actually said, I don't understand how you can like pussy and cock at the same time. I was like, oh my God, that just makes me want to come running out of the closet, doesn't it? So why is it so difficult for someone to come out as bisexual as opposed to being gay or lesbian? And I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and by no means am I a queer scholar or someone who spent a lot of time researching, the psychology of coming out, but I can speak from my own experience as a bisexual. And as a bisexual, I see that someone who comes out as gay or lesbian is able to claim an identity, whereas someone who comes out as bisexual claims an idea. So identity versus idea, what does this mean? Well, I think a lot of the misconceptions about bisexuality come from what people know about attraction. And for me, attraction is void of gender. I mean, growing up, I felt like I was no different than anyone else. I was attracted to the person, not the gender. I mean, how can you control who you fall in love with? It just happens, right? So my second year, I went to a QSU meeting as an ally. I'm definitely not a gay man, and at the time, I wasn't really sure that I was a lesbian, and I didn't really understand bisexuality either. But after going to a few more meetings, talking to more people, and learning more about the community, I came to identify myself as bisexual. But with this newfound identity, I came to realize that I didn't really fit in. The queer community would assume that I was an ally, and the straight communities would assume that I was straight. I try to come out to people, and they would just laugh it off. I try to tell my friends, and they would just say something like, everyone's just a little bisexual, or that this is just a stepping stone to becoming a full-blown lesbian. So I came to realize that before I even had to come out to someone, I'd explain what being a bisexual meant and the idea of bisexuality. Coming out for me means that I had to justify myself to everyone I meet, queer or straight. So what's the problem with bisexuality? Why is it so different? It seems to me that all this comes from the fact that bisexuality is fraught with misconceptions. Bisexuality somehow becomes synonymous with being oversexed. I mean, what does it mean for me to identify as a bisexual woman? Well, it means that I'm a straight guy's dream because I'm most likely to partake in a threesome, 2 girls, 1 guy, obvi. Or that I'm greedy because I'll have sex with anything that moves, or that I'm confused or in denial, or just trying to fit in. And honestly, if you knew me, then you would know that none of that's true. I mean, honestly, if you met me, you might think I'm a little bit of a prude. I mean, not that I don't like to have fun, I'm just a little prudish. So where does that leave me? I'm not out, and right now I'm okay with that because I know who I am, and I know what I like, and I know that I can love someone regardless of gender. And right now, that's okay for me.
March 1st, 2005, I delivered the following speech to my entire high school as my senior speech. In the 4th grade, I was invited to the coolest kid in school's birthday party. I was a little surprised because, I was kind of a dork, but I guess everybody is when they're 10. The guy's mom at the birthday party announced that everyone could get their face painted. Now, this was a very risky move at an all-boys birthday party, but everyone seemed pretty excited nonetheless. That is, until the alpha male of the 4th grade expressed his distaste for face painting. All the boys sort of covered up their excitement, but I stepped up to the face painting booth and stated that I still wanted to get my face painted. Zebras had always intrigued me because I couldn't ever figure out what sound they make, so I decided to get zebra stripes. Now, the other boys all looked at me, but I didn't care. They just seemed jealous that I could run around like a zebra all night, trying to make the zebra noise. I guess I've always known I was different, and I've really never been afraid to show it. Well, at least not until 8th grade. Under the backdrop of immature little boys and girls discovering the joys of relationships, I realized that my differences were much more significant than I had thought. I thought it was just a phase. I hoped the feelings would pass. I prayed I would somehow become normal again. After a few years, I finally came to grips with myself. Yep, Bowman, you're gay. But I was also homophobic. Homophobic in the true sense of the word. I had an irrational fear of everything gay or anything that I thought was gay. Effeminate men, rainbows, gelled hair, puppies, you name it. I remember finding it very strange and confusing to be gay and homophobic at the same time, but I really didn't have a choice. I was never exposed to homosexuality. My exposure was limited to lewd episodes of Jerry Springer, like Surprise, I'm a Man, and Lesbian Threesome with Mom. I mean, I'd never met anyone that was gay, and society was telling me that gay people were these weird, corrupt, almost alien beings. So I was left alone, afraid of homosexuality, afraid of my homosexuality, but most of all, afraid that people would find out about my homosexuality. So I did what all gay people do. I kept it to myself for 2 long years. Finally, in 10th grade, I decided to reach out for help. January 14th, 2003, I sat in front of my friend Celia, silently contemplating how I would tell her, what I would say if she was surprised, what I would do if she freaked out, what I would do if I freaked out. Finally, I mustered up the courage to tell her. I leaned real close and whispered what I thought was a sordid confession, and then sat up and immediately started crying. After 2 long years of agony trying to deal with it myself, it felt so good to finally tell someone, but so scary to realize that I had just revealed my deepest, darkest secret to someone else. Most of our conversations following that night centered on what people would think of me if they found out I was gay, and I always irrationally assumed the worst. You know, my parents would disown me, my friends would find new friends, my teachers would start docking my grades, my dog would run away. I found it impossible not to be afraid, and I ended up with a distorted perception of life. It was impossible for me to see that my family is one of the most supportive families in the world, and that my friends are about as loving and caring and loyal as friends can be. We've all been taught to be ourselves, but for me the more important lesson is let others be themselves. I was so caught up defining myself and how others saw me, or how I thought they saw me, that I couldn't even realize that being gay was a part of my identity and not a negative part. But I was being just as guilty. I wasn't letting the people I loved be themselves. Loving, caring, supportive individuals who would stand by me and help me through life. My struggles with homosexuality have taught me to have faith in those around me, especially the people close to me. It was by the help of these people that I was finally able to get over my homophobia. I'm finally ready to live the life that I've always deserved.